Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Major General Jason E. Kelly, and the Post Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Eric Oakes, welcome to the United States Army Training Center and Fort Jackson for the retirement review of 2 soldiers and graduation of Companies Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo from the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, 165th Infantry Brigade. Please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Caleb McCary.
Will you pray with me? Gracious Father, we gather today to recognize the hard work, tenacity, and commitment of the newest soldiers in the United States Army as they graduate from basic combat training and move on to the next steps in their journey. I thank you for seeing them safely through the challenges of the last few months as they endured long days, physical challenges, and the mental stress that helped mold them into the soldier leaders the Army needs for the days ahead. And now as we send this precious treasure of America's sons and daughters off to start their Army careers, I echo the words of an ancient blessing over them, their families, and all gathered here today. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.
Please be seated. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the men and women you see here who have chosen to serve their country as soldiers. This review is the last official formation in the careers of 2 lifelong soldiers and for our newest soldiers. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training. Far fewer are able to accept the challenges and difficulties that come with the life of a career soldier. But those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and these soldiers can take great pride in their accomplishments. To the parents, families, and friends of these soldiers, Fort Jackson extends a very warm and sincere welcome. We are justifiably proud of our retirees' lifelong dedication to our nation and are truly honored that the next generation standing on this field have chosen to join our ranks. Please direct your attention to the left of the formation. The units marching today from your left to right are the 282nd Army Band under the direction of First Sergeant Sean Cupp, graduating soldiers from Companies Alpha, Bravo, the Battalion Color Guard, and graduating soldiers from Companies Charlie, Delta, and Echo. Identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeants. These dedicated, non-commissioned officers form the backbone of the Army's training center system, selected based on professional competence, leadership ability, and years of service. These men and women undergo intensive training to earn the right to wear the distinctive hat and insignia. With the drill sergeant hat goes the most important responsibility of molding civilian men and women into soldiers. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Michelle Walker, who serves as the executive officer for the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment. She and the battalion staff are positioned on the field. The reviewing officer for today's graduation is the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Randolph J. Fleming. On his left is First Sergeant Brandon S. Moss, the battalion's senior non-commissioned officer, master trainer, and principal advisor to the commander. The commander of troops will now bring forward the colors and persons to be honored.
Colors and persons to be honored. Center, march.
Competence and commitment are the hallmarks of professionalism. The soldiers and drill sergeants coming forward will be recognized for their excellence in training and duty performance and serve as examples to all.
Sir, the colors and persons to be honored are present.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. It is appropriate for soldiers in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag. We ask our civilian guests to please remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart as our national anthem is played.
Detachment, present arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment, order, arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the retirement of two lifelong soldiers. All soldiers begin their journey by graduating from basic combat training. Over the years, there have been changes to how the Army conducts basic training. However, many things remain the same. It was during basic training that these two soldiers were first introduced to the Army values. It is where they learned the importance of teamwork and that the Army truly is a family. That sense of team and Army family is still embedded in what is done here today. Over 20 years ago, these soldiers took the same oath to defend this nation that your loved ones on the field have taken. We salute these great soldiers as they pass the torch of freedom along to the newest generation of soldiers, your loved ones standing on the field today. A certificate of appreciation from the President of the United States will be presented to those retiring today. It reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during critical times in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of the military service. I trust that in the coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. A certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff, United States Army, is also presented to those retiring today and to the spouses of today's retirees for their dedicated service to our nation. At this time, Colonel Uthloud and Command Sergeant Major Blyler will recognize our trainees for their service to the United States Army. Dr. Jacqueline Ortiz. Dr. Jacqueline Ortiz, having served honorably for 44 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 1 May 2024. Dr. Jacqueline Ortiz entered active duty in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and will reside in South Carolina upon retirement. Dr. Ortiz is receiving the Distinguished Civilian Service Medal for her accomplished years of service. Her fondest professional achievement is serving as the Commandant for the Initial Military Training Leadership School. Chaplain Carl Chiato. Chaplain Carl Chiato, having served honorably for 14 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 25 April 2024. Chaplain Chiato entered active duty in Fort Bliss, Texas, and will reside in South Carolina upon retirement. His fondest professional achievement was initiating and executing intra-theater airlift in the CENTCOM area of responsibility in support of the Unit Ministry Team Battlefield Circulation Plan that paved the way for their battalion command team and staff to circulate the theater safely amidst COVID-19 restrictions. The nation salutes Carl Chiato, Chaplain Carl Chiato. Retired. United States Army. Please join me in a round of applause for our retiree and their families. Although newly retired, they will always be a part of our Army family. Please join me in a round of applause for our retiree and their families. Although newly retired, they will always be a part of our Army family. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these soldiers are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Bravo Company, 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Senior Drill Sergeant Alex Carter, will recite the Drill Sergeant Creed. We ask that all drill sergeants past and present please stand for the reciting of the Drill Sergeant Creed.
The Drill Sergeant Creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I'm an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Fleming and First Sergeant Moss will now present the awards. The Outstanding Drill Sergeant of the Cycle for the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment is Senior Drill Sergeant Alex Carter from Denver, Colorado. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Alpha Company is Specialist Landon McClune from East Wenatchee, Washington. The Soldier of the Cycle for Alpha Company is Specialist Isaiah Jones from Lawton, Oklahoma. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Bravo Company is Private First Class Aliana Acosta from Hinesville, Georgia. The Soldier of the Cycle for Bravo Company is Specialist Devin Wilcox from Cache, Oklahoma. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Charlie Company is Specialist Alan Lamar from Olive Branch, Mississippi. The Soldier of the Cycle for Charlie Company is Specialist Mitchell Pitney from Vail, Arizona. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Delta Company is Private Kevin Walls from Westlake, Ohio. The Soldier of the Cycle for Delta Company is Private Daniel Avila from Comanche, Oklahoma. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Echo Company is Specialist Brett McKay from Auburn, Alabama. The Soldier of the Cycle for Echo Company is Private Jacob Smith from Mesa, Arizona. The Battalion Non-Commissioned Officer of the Cycle is Sergeant Anderson Sanchez from Claremont, Florida. The Battalion Soldier of the Cycle is Specialist Anthony Ambrose from Oxnard, California. The Battalion Civilian of the Cycle is Miss Janice Brown from Etufville, South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Randolph J. Fleming.
Good morning. Before I start, I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests, Colonel Utlaut, our teammates from Senator Graham's office, and other command teams. We thank you for joining us, and we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. To the Rock Force family and friends in the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Rock Force soldiers, welcome to Fort Jackson and Hilton Field. We understand that many of you have traveled long distances or are watching remotely, and we want to sincerely thank you for your support that you've shown your soldier through their journey here at BCT. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I would also like to thank all the military veterans and retirees present with us today. Can I ask you to stand and please be recognized? It's a fact that we would not be here today celebrating this great achievement if it were not for your sacrifices and dedication to defending this great nation. So we thank you for your service. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the 282nd Army Band. You always add a class of touch to any occasion, and we truly appreciate your support. So let's give them a round of applause. All right, now a little about your soldiers and their journey here. You know, I always enjoy speaking to the families and congratulating the soldiers on their achievements, but today is a special day. It's special because we get to publicly recognize and welcome our newest soldiers into your Army. It's special because it's their opportunity to showcase to you their story of perseverance, teamwork, and the sacrifices they've made to stand on this field today. 10 weeks ago, we welcomed over 1,100 new trainees from entry stations nationwide. And with the incredible support of dedicated staff and civilian employees from across Fort Jackson, we put your loved ones through their paces. We tested their grit, showed them what it meant to be a member of a team, and instilled discipline. And as a result, you have who is standing in front of you today, an impressive group of 1,050 transformed volunteers who can proudly proclaim they are disciplined, trained, and fit United States Army soldiers. Throughout this training, these warfighters accomplished some incredible feats and met the standard for every training requirement we put in front of them. They overcame fear, experienced shared hardship, and showed resiliency in the face of the challenges. To give you an idea of their accomplishments, let me share some of the journey with you. Your loved ones rappelled down a 40-foot tower, completed multiple rigorous obstacle courses, executed 13 ranges where they shot thousands of rounds, and ultimately qualified on their weapon. They threw live hand grenades. They low-crawled the length of a football field in sand at night under heavy machine gun fire. Completed multiple field training exercises like the hammer, anvil, and the forge, where they patrolled individually over 60 miles under heavy rucksacks under the unpredictable South Carolina weather. And this is just a small sample of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women standing in formation today did everything we asked of them. It is without a doubt each soldier standing here has earned and deserves the title of American soldier. This formation is also as American as you can get. They come from all over the country, from small towns like Mighton, Utah, Laurie Station, Pennsylvania. They come from our large cities like Los Angeles and New York City. In fact, they've joined us from across the globe, from countries like Ghana, Dominican Republic, Kuwait, Morocco. Our youngest soldier is 17, and the oldest is 43. 80 have associates, 156 have bachelors, 26 have masters, and 1 has a PhD. Some even left their jobs where they served as police officers, firemen, and educators, while many have served our country previously in the Air Force, Marines, and Navy. And finally, I think this one is extra special. For 96 of the soldiers standing before you, yesterday was not just another day. It was a pivotal moment in their lives. these brave men and women took the oath to become American citizens. Families and friends, this is your United States Army, and let's give them a round of applause. So I said at the beginning this was an impressive group, but there's a little bit more to the story. In addition to the support from the families at home, none of this would have been possible without the coaching, mentoring, and guidance from an incredible group of specially trained and carefully selected Rock Force drill sergeants. For the last 10 weeks, these drill sergeants were with your soldiers day in and day out, walking through the rain, through the cold, standing side by side your soldier, leading them through their tough times and their joys. They were their role models, and they were their inspiration, and I'd like you to join me in giving them a round of applause. All right, to the soldiers of 334 Infantry, I want to congratulate you on your accomplishment. You have entered a profession full of tradition, pride, and standards. From this day forward, you are now charged with protecting your fellow Americans' freedoms, upholding the Army's traditions, honoring the Army's accomplishments, and living the Army values. This may sound daunting, but remember, you've proven you got what it takes. Now I'll leave you just with a few thoughts as you start your new journey. First, I want you to continue to build on your legacy of accomplishment. This isn't the end. There's an old adage that says to whom much is given, much will be required. And during your time here, you've been poured into, spent countless hours in classes and in the field, training your warrior task and drills, and you've been taught what it takes to be a good teammate. I challenge you to carry these skills forward to your next assignment. Your leaders and future teammates will expect this of you. Second, wear your uniform with pride. It tells your story. It tells the story of those who served before you. It bears witness to the sacrifices and dedication of those brave men and women who in some cases have paid the ultimate price. Quite simply, it signifies that you're standing on the shoulders of giants. Third, have fun. Enjoy yourself. I can promise you will meet your best friend, come in contact and train with people from all over the world, and visit places you never dreamed of. I challenge you to cherish each moment. And then finally, never forget where you started. When times get tough, as they undoubtedly will, remember that you were forged and shaped in the crucible of Fort Jackson's basic combat training, and you emerged at the other end, solid as a rock. You are forever a Rock Force soldier. Congratulations, teammates. Take the beach, strike strong, and victory.
Today's soldier is, above all, a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and determined to destroy enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army Soldier's Creed embodies this commitment. To the soldiers on the field, the uniform you wear at this moment is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are a willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for, by all who have gone before and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Private First Class Aliana Acosta presents a certificate of appreciation to the retirees and leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed. Please be seated.
Pass and review.
In consideration of those around you, we ask that you please remain seated and in the bleachers until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. As you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed to your right. Once the ceremony has concluded, family members of awardees may meet their soldiers under the canopy located to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends, please meet your soldiers on the field once instructed by the narrator or by respective companies. The 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment lineage. Constituted 1 July 1916 in the regular Army as Company Charlie, 34th Infantry. Organized 15 July 1916 at El Paso, Texas. 34th Infantry assigned 6 December 1917 to the 7th Division, relieved 24 March 1923 from assignment to the 7th Division, and assigned to the 8th Division, relieved 15 August 1927 from the assignment to the 8th Division, and assigned to the 4th Division, relieved. 1 October 1933 from assignment to the 4th Division, and assigned to the 8th Division, later redesignated as the 8th Infantry Division. Inactivated 5 June 1940 at Fort Benning, Georgia. Activated 1 July 1940 at Camp Jackson, South Carolina. Inactivated 5 June 1958 and relieved from assignment to the 24th Infantry Division. Concurrently redesignated as Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 3rd Battle Group, 34th Infantry. Withdrawn 17 March 1959 from the regular Army, allotted to the Army Reserve, and assigned to the 79th Infantry Division. Battle Group activated 23 March 1959 with headquarters at Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Inactivated 28 March 1963 at Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and relieved from the assignment to the 79th Infantry Division. Redesignated 21 July 1977 as a 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry, withdrawn from the Army Reserve and allotted to the regular Army. Headquarters transferred 27 February 1987 to the United States Army Training and Doctrines Command and activated at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Inactivated 31 March 1989 at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Redesignated 1 October 2005 as the 3rd Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment and activated at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Passing the reviewing stand is the Commander of Troops, Major Michelle Walker, and the battalion staff. The 282nd Army Band is directed by First Sergeant Sean Cupp. The drum major is Sergeant Jonathan Gifford.